Hey, baby grands in the world and all the accompanying keys. How is everyone today? It is Saturday, August 24th, year 2024. Wow, what a day of power. We know that each day in the month of August, we've been looking at the 8th of August, always the 8th month. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. And the year that we're in, 2024, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. And today we have a 24 in the middle. So before explaining the 24, for this entire month of August 2024, we've been using August as a piece of bread, and we've been using 2024 as a piece of bread. So kind of these bookends, and every day we've been making a different sandwich. And this has been our manna meal for the day. And we've been using it in a medicinal way so that it will help us spiritually, physically, fiscally, emotionally, and totally. So when we think about consumption, I don't want you to just think about food that we throw in our mouth, even though we're going to follow this same process. When we put something in our mouth, where digestion begins, mastication, that chewing, and we use our tongue and all the saliva, and all that's really part of our digestion process, is where it starts. And the best digestion is when we are able to put something intake through our mouth and chew it for a period of time. 33 is a good time. So some doctors will tell you 30. I say 33. So you have one chew per year of Christ being alive. If you are Christian in your orientation, it makes it easy to remember how many times to chew. And then when we begin to swallow what we've taken in, then we start the ingestion process. So this whole process of digesting, taking something in and keeping in what we need and getting rid of what we don't need has a very rigorous, very methodical factory type process that our body goes through. But it goes through that whether it's physical food that we're eating calorically or non-calorically, as well as the different emotions we put in us and consume. The different influences from all aspects of life have an impact on how do we take them in, how do we consume them. So we start mastication and chewing, we start ingestion, then we go down lower where we get digestion. We have a lot of absorption, a lot of malabsorption, excretion, and we keep some stuff in the blood and some stuff we get out, and we pee some out, we poop some out, we sweat some out, we keep some in. So our body is really amazing in the way that it keeps us into something that we call homeostasis. And that is just staying the same all the time, because it's really cool if we can just keep things kind of copacetic all the time. And because things are always moving and always changing, then it's understood that we're always talking about movement and change, when the goal is really to keep that change so constant that it seems like it's not changing at all. That's how it is on earth, right? It's hard to convince people that the earth is moving, because it's only moving in whatever direction we want it to go in. How is it moving and I'm standing still? But then you got to start talking about gravity and how God allows us to stay down when we can stay up, and we've defied gravity by creating spaceships and all these different things. So suffice it to say, for today, 8/24/2024, or our 8 front piece of bread, our 8 back piece of bread, and our 24, the day of the month in the middle, just know that we are focused on being steady in our diet in the way we are consuming, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about God, and the way that we manage ourselves in the world. When we get out of August, I will be doing some further deep diving into my book, World Changers and Difference Makers, #1 international bestseller on Amazon in 2017. And a lot has happened since then. But what hasn't changed is the methodology that God gave me in the book. It still works. But let's just talk about today. So 8 is a number of new beginnings, but it's also a number of beginning new. So what I always tell you is, hey, say hello to your future. Hey, future. Why? Because today is always yesterday's tomorrow. So there's never a time that we're not living in the future, even though we're living today. Today is always yesterday's tomorrow. Yesterday, when I told you I'd see you tomorrow, that's now today. So that concept, just in a way to keep the complex simple, just always remember that today, wherever you are, is yesterday's tomorrow, which means you're always in the future. So what you do today is your future. So instead of having something planned so far out that it's unreachable, if we would live our future as today, then the decisions we're making for our future would manifest themselves as we live out our lives. And there's a whole lot in there. But anyway, welcome to your future. Whenever you watch this, it's going to be today. Wherever you watch it, it's going to be today. And remember, when you're trying to get away from yourself, that whenever you get where you're going, you're going to be there when you get there. So make sure that it's been worth the money, the time, the energy, and the effort. Because when you uproot yourself and put yourself somewhere else, when you get there, you're going to be there. So just make sure it's the you that you want to be with once you arrive. And change is often needed, and it's always happening. It's just we need to be taught what it means and the impact. And I trust that that's part of the assignment that God has me here doing, which is why I'm still here. The number 8, so I'm an unapologetic numerologist, Scientologist, astrophysicist, all the things that God created, I embrace. And I'm saying all of those things in a godly fashion, and none of those things in a denominational, religious fashion. I study life and creation from the basis of God being the creator. And that's just the long and short of it. So whatever you believe, because I believe in the greatest number other than 1 is 2, and that's because it gives us choice, because that is the greatest gift that God has given us. He doesn't demand that we serve him. He sure does make a compelling reason why we should. And hopefully we too are making that compelling reason for others. So you all who follow me already know I give you all the stuff about the numbers. You want to know about numbers, you call me, ask whatever. So August being the 8th month, and many people looking at this, many Christians, non-Christians, educators, scientists, medical professionals, just curious people are looking at how this particular year, 2024, whose digits add up to 8, what that means when we're also in the 8th month. Are there things that are happening in the sky differently? Are there different alignments to the stars? Are crops growing differently? Is the almanac still aligned as it was written? So just a lot of, our mood swings different. A lot of things that people are looking at based on their perspective and certainly their interest. What we've been doing is making this mega manna sandwich every day for you to chew on throughout the day so that you could be strengthened during this 8th month in this year of 8 with this difference in the middle. So because 8 is a beginning kind of number, it's always something new going on, I have said that the first piece of bread is beginning new. because it opens us up to yesterday's today. Because now we are in today, which is yesterday's tomorrow. So we begin new. But then we end getting ready to go out of today and preparing for tomorrow. So that back piece of bread is the new beginnings. So we begin new. We got some meat in the middle, which is the day of the week. And then that last piece of bread is the new beginning. And then by the time we come back, when I see you tomorrow, it'll be today. Because today is always yesterday's tomorrow. So our beginning new today for 8/24/2024. 8 being this strong number, our begin new. I want you to begin new today with that 8, whatever kind of bread you choose. Yeah, I told y'all, white bread, cornbread, white bread, wheat bread, light bread, heavy bread, unleavened, leavened, don't matter. Whatever you're choosing as your first piece of bread for your sandwich of the day, I want you to spread it with 8 words that are positive about you. Think of 8 positive words about you. And I know some of you haven't done that for a really long time. So I want you to think of 8 positive words, because that is going to make up what you're spreading on that first piece of bread. That first piece of bread is being spread with 8 things that are positive about you. And the last piece of bread, since we're still in same year, 2 + 0 + 2 + 4 = 8, I want you to use that last piece of bread, and I want you to spread 8 things that God has done for you. 8 things. So we have a sandwich that's going to, the meat in the middle, the manna, is going to be smushed between 8 positive things that you say about yourself and 8 great things that you credit God for doing in your life. Now the middle, 24. 24 is this double regal number. So it's royal because it's 12. It becomes regal when it's 24. It's because it's a double 12. So when we look at 24, the day, we have 2, which is choice, and we have 4, which is creation, which gives us 6, which is humankind. So I already have you doing that, because you're talking about yourself on that first slice of bread, and we're recognizing God as our creator and the great things he's done on that last slice of bread. So the 24th is in the middle. I want you to do 2 things today. The first thing I want you to do is to read Psalm 24. Very powerful psalm. I want you to, that is the big part of your sandwich today. We're doing the whole kit and caboodle. We're doing a 24. So we have a sandwich of 8 things that are positive about me. Then I have Psalm 24. Then I have 8 great things that God has done for me. And now I'm taking a bite and I'm chewing at least 33 times every time I take a bite of that sandwich. And let me tell you, you're getting stronger just thinking about it. And I want you to do that. And then, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you about these things in the Bible called courses. Because 2 of Aaron's sons, if you remember a few days back when we were talking about that priesthood, and we were talking about Aaron, and we talked about him and Miriam and Moses and God having a family meeting and all that stuff. Well, I'm going to come back and talk to you about just the power of this whole 24 thing, because there were courses, and I don't want you to be confused about the courses in the Bible and the responsibility of those who had to manage courses, and how powerful music and notes are in the course of all of what God does. I mean, he's just such an amazing musician, amazing mathematician and creator, and he gives that inside of us very melodically. So I'm just going to come back and teach you about that. So your sandwich, 8 things you love about you. They're positive. You got way more than 8. Just do 8. And on that back piece of bread, 8 things that God has done for you, and he's done so many more. Just pick 8. And in the middle, the manna is Psalm 24. And those of you who like extra credit, read it 24 times, because that would be the real way to do it. And then I'm going to come back a little later with some points on this number 24 and why it is so powerful, and why you may be feeling more empowered today, and why today may be a day of power. I don't want you to allow it to be a day where you diminish the power that you're feeling, because it is a super powerful day. So I'll come back and talk to you about that later. I really appreciate you praying for me, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. It's a beautiful day out. I'm posting the sunrise, the moon still in the sky with the sun, but we're starting to see that close. We know that 888, we were dealing with the Lionsgate portal. I've talked about that. You can go back to the 8th if you want to look at that. That brought some attention to this particular August 2024, but it's special all by itself. So thank you for praying for me. Please start making your sandwich. It's just lunch. Don't be afraid. It's just lunch. It's just the future. We're just here in yesterday's tomorrow. That's all. And we're just hanging out together, getting gooder and gooder and betterer and betterer, because we belong to the greatest, and that is God. You'll hear back from me soon. Always. Only until soon. How can it be anything else? Agape and Shalom.